Warship bearing 139, medium range. I don't see it. Take her down. Be very quiet, please. Let's see what if again. Wait a minute. Did we? Uh-oh. Oh, I bet I know when we broke these. Probably when we rammed that, motor vessel or whatever it was. We kind of broke some glass on some of our gauges. We probably did ourselves a little bit of hull damage too. Butte. I am not concerning myself with that at this time. I'm concerning myself with the, oh dear, this warship, which is very close, and which I'm going to move away from post-haste. Criminy, that's close. Woohoo. Can we see it? It's bearing something like, I don't know, 165. Do I even... Oh my. Yep, that's a destroyer, alright. Well, we're not going to touch that, and we're going to take that as a lesson not to do so much in here again. I mean, we sunk quite a few ships. I mean, only 2 of them really proper ships per se, but you know what? We're not concerning ourselves with such minor matters as sinking non-existent neutral light boats that I'm pretty sure were just part of the scenery because we didn't get anything for it. If we lose a crap ton of renown for sinking a neutral vessel, then so be it. This has been a waffle. We are going to evade this warship, and we are going to make for the open sea, as we have already been doing. Well, at this time, I am most proud to announce to you, and you, and you, and you, and you, and you, and all you fine crew members of U-46, that we have in fact survived what turned out to be a somewhat perilous night. Without a scratch, without so much as even being detected by hostile enemy elements. And we managed to sink a merchant ship, you know, so we got that out of the deal. We also fired 2 torpedoes, and the weather basically hasn't changed very much for most of the patrol. It's been a rather stormy September, but that's just kind of the nature of things with David Suzuki. Never mind, around England this time of year, or Scotland actually, and Northern Ireland. Never mind. Offended enough people. I mean, we haven't quite reached the deeps yet, but we have reached much wider waters where we have a much wider berth and which cannot effectively be patrolled by the relatively small number of warships the Royal Navy has available to guard these waters, which bodes well for us for the future. So as we make for the deeps, I say, never mind. How delightful. We have, so it would seem, a contact report of some kind of a merchant vessel heading south-southwest at medium speed. Well, I guess we shouldn't presume it's a merchant. We really don't know. South-southwest. So we'll plot an anticipated course, which will be something like that. Medium speed. I'll assume that's not more than 10 knots, probably around 8. So we should be over to should be able to overtake it easily enough. I'll just bump this up to standard as we come around. And make sure this thing definitely isn't close enough to see, because my incompetent watch crew have been at the schnapps again. I had some root beer schnapps over the weekend. Yuck. I'm sure it's perfectly lovely on it, mixed with something, but on its own, ugh, this boozy root beer syrup. It's not worth your time unless you combine it with something. I don't know. I'm not an expert. Anyway, as I said before, the real reason is because I haven't installed the what is it? I think it's the sensors mod on top of MEP, so as a result, the crew can't see very far with these lovely environmental effects. installed, blah 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 blah. I'm not very articulate today, but it's not really of the utmost relevance at this time. Now can we see anything? Dum, dum, da, dum. Stop making noise when you have nothing to say. Oh. Nope, definitely not visible yet. Okay. Well, we're making 13 knots, so once we make this turn, I will dive to periscope depth, silence the boat, and have a little listen. I just hear the faintest thing, and I realize exactly what I did wrong. Contact report said south-southwest. This is pointed south-southeast. Because I'm a moron. Okay. See, 45. Actually over there somewhere. Okay. I did an oops. And we need to surface and correct that oops with maximum speed. Yeah, you don't need to whisper. Everyone knows the secret. Ooh, water's not very deep here. No time like the present to ping it out just in case. Ew. 42 meters. That does not bode well. But I'm not anticipating warships. I anticipate a lone merchant ready for me to plunge my teeth into it. In strict accordance with the revised edition of the prize regulations, which may be found in my lavatory and all that. Okay. Quite enough of that. Let's go. What is that sound? Okay, never mind. Keep going. Let's try and mute the sound from my rickety keyboard. What I really need to do is set up a noise gate so you don't hear my squeaky, creaky chair. But these are things which cannot be dealt with right now. I need to not be quite so quick-fingered with my button pressing here. I'm liable to blunder us right into the enemy. Well, bugger. Where could that ship have been going? In that direction. Maybe it wasn't on that. That did say south-southwest, right? Yeah, but where was it going? Change course, maybe? Let's have another good listen. Nope, I definitely don't hear it, but I suspect it changed course. Because where's it gonna go? Are there any sort of single shipping routes that go along the outside of Ireland? Whoa! 110. What are you on? You been at the schnapps too? Bearing 110. I don't hear it. Well, let's get us turned in that direction anyway. And once we finish that turn, we'll see if he still hears it. Okay, report me your merchant, sir. Contact? Bearing 009. Well, I congratulate you, sir, because I, honest to goodness, don't hear it. Which means it could be a bloody sailboat. but we are in no position to make rash assumptions. What we will do is figure out its proximate position. Turn off the marker aids there. Try and get a rough estimate of course through a couple sound contacts. Okay. So, why on earth can't I hear this if it's not that far away? That is really not that far away. Well, let's get closer anyway. Okay, we're at periscope depth. We should be looking through the periscope in question. What's the bearing? Okay, slow us down. So we're going too fast and the periscope is blurry. Now bearing 317, eh? Oh, hell. Yeah, that's exactly what it is. A coastal vessel. Well, this time I know better than to give away my position by attacking something that inconsequential. So we're just gonna stay submerged, return to course, and not let it see us. Because you know what? It may be flying a British merchant jack, but I don't think it's even worth the deck gun round it would take to sink it. So, down periscope. And bring us about. Get us out of here. We're a little close to enemy territory here. And it's taking me forever to make it to the open ocean. So turn us around. Take us out of here. Well, golly, we have just received a report of an enemy convoy, an AM-52, headed east-southeast. That thing's probably going to change course before we see it, too. Well, not much to be done about that, I guess. Let's plot an approximate course. What east-southeast would look like? 15... 45. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and assume that that convoy is going to change course. And on that assumption, I'm going to try and make best possible speed. Although it's only going 4 knots. So, how far can it get? In hours, please. Doing 4 knots in 2 hours. Call it 4 hours. It can go 30 kilometers. Okay. And how far would we need to go to intercept at that point? 127. How long would it take us to go that fast at 16 knots? 1 hour. Okay then. Full ahead flank. Waste no time. Yes, yes. We'll plot our course somewhat ahead of it, just for safe margin of error. But not too far ahead, because I'm anticipating a course change before too long on its part. Whew! This thing turns pretty sharpish as far as these things go. One thing, though, about making a convoy attack is we only have 2 torpedoes, and we're too close to enemy territory for me to feel particularly comfortable loading the external. Well, that being said, we have 4 hours. Theoretically, how long is that going to take? You know what? I'm going to risk it. We will load the forward external. Except we won't, because there's no crew in the torpedo room. And we will put every available crewman in the torpedo room to facilitate this happening as quickly as possible. And we will actually have one of my officers... Actually, no, we won't, because I kind of need them all right now. Now do it. Now do it! Unless the sea's too rough. Which it doesn't seem to be. Oh, it's probably because we're moving too fast. Okay. In that case, we're just going to have to plump for only having 2 torpedoes with which to make this attack then. Presuming we actually make contact with the convoy, which I think is a fair assumption, but if that does or doesn't happen, well, that'll be the next thing to flash upon the screen. Well, 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 well. Here's some news from another boat which may actually affect us. From U-29 to U-46, well, it wasn't specifically addressed to us, per se, but apparently U-29 has experienced premature explosions on torpedoes on use of magnetic pistols. So I guess we will probably be wanting to use impacts from this point on. I mean, we've been doing that for the most part already, especially with these Type 1 torpedoes, which we have in stock. Whoops, no, don't open any tubes. But that was the only real thing I wanted to say. We haven't made contact yet. We haven't reached the point where we'd be able to do that, so carrying on. And I did a little oopsie by running at a head flank there, something I forgot about, which is a feature of the H.ISE, that's how it is, SIE possibly. Hard-coded fixes for Silent Hunter 3 is if you run the diesels at maximum power for too long, you can damage them, which is precisely what I've done. So, and we've managed to break them both, and it's going to take 4 hours to fix them. Damn it! Okay. Let's get some more crew working on that. See if we can bring that time down just a bit. Since WEPS isn't doing anything anyway. Crap. Oh, starboard diesel's functional. Okay, all ahead full. And we'll be repairing the port diesel as soon as we can. But that is going to reduce our speed, so I'll be moving our intercept point up a little bit to accommodate that. And I'll just keep recording through this to see what goes on. Yeah, we're only ticking out 13 knots now. Port diesel destroyed. What? Starboard diesel functional. Okay. Okay. Back to a head standard then. Let's make sure we don't break the other one. The other thing I'm going to do is dive to periscope depth and see if we hear anything. Since this little disaster has unfolded so magnificently. Okay, take her down, periscope depth, all that good stuff, and Schleichfahrt.
Bei der Maschine kleine Fahrt.
Bei der Maschine kleine Fahrt, 50 Drehung, yes, yes. And let's have a listen. Bugger. Okay, well, I don't hear anything. So we're gonna surface. And continue running on the surface in hopes of locating this convoy. But I'm starting to lose a little bit of hope, though maybe I shouldn't. That we might end up having a little bit of trouble doing that. Radio message. Lovely. SSS, indicating attack by submarine. Wonderful. Continue pursuit. Aha! Another report, moving east-southeast. I'm going to assume that's the same convoy, although perhaps that is an unreasonable assumption. No, that's not. And use this to plot its course. Speed still 4 knots. Okay. Now that we know kind of what we're doing, we will make revolutions to intercept at our kind of pathetic speed. But what can we do? I broke the port diesel. It's no one's fault, except mine. And starboard diesel's functional. We can take our crew off damage control now. No, get back in your spot. There we go. Since there's no damage to repair, the damage is done. And we are going to continue to pursue the convoy. I hear something. Sounds like a great mass of ships between about 0. Blimey. Okay, that convoy is going to be pretty close, methinks. So I'm going to try and pull ahead of it a little bit and run on the surface. Not above a head standard, because I'm being kind of cautious. But don't accelerate to that now. They might have ships that can hear us. Although, probably not at this point in the war, but who knows. Why is my observation periscope up? Put that away. Wait a minute, why are these red? Uh-oh. Are there torpedoes waiting to be loaded? Oh! Cripes. You bugger off with your E-machine, and we're on the surface now. There are actually torpedoes to be loaded, and it took me a while to notice that. It's not that we're out. Good grief. That's why I couldn't load the external. The master of disaster strikes again. Ugh. Okay, okay, I'm still entertaining a shadow ego by saying something like that, so I shouldn't be saying it. You know what? I shouldn't be saying anything at all.